Hi all. Today's video, sorry, I've got a cough sweeting because I just had a choking fit just before I was going to start talking. So, excuse me for I'll be rolling it around my mouth while I'm talking. So, today I wrote a post this morning on present, being present. Um, and I explained about living in the past, depression, and focusing on the future, anxiety. But I wanted to talk a little bit more about this present moment. And the reason why I wanted to talk about it was because sometimes I think being understanding what a present moment is can be misunderstood. And the reason why it's misunderstood is because most of the time when we're going through some kind of trauma, we believe that we're actually being present because we're still feeling those emotions in the present moment. What we don't understand is that just because we are feeling those feelings in the present moment doesn't mean the experience is the present moment. What it means is that we're still thinking about the experience that has passed, but it's still present in our emotional field. So I thought that if I gave you a little exercise to do, if you're feeling like you're struggling, that maybe this could help you a little bit, or it could help you a little bit to understand where your thoughts are lying at the time, so you become more aware, more self-aware of how you're thinking and feeling. So one of the things that one of the things that I would suggest to do is when you're sat, if you're getting in overwhelm because you're either thinking about the past, so you're feeling depression, to depress, to push down, in other words, focusing on that lower frequency, or you're feeling anxious about the what ifs, what if it all happens again, da 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 da, all that kind of thing. Bring yourself back to this very moment. So, present means the very moment that you're in right now. The brain will make you think that, well, where I am right now is not a really good place because this is happening, or this has happened, or that's happened, and it's making me feel like that. But that's actually where you have an opportunity to understand that you're actually projecting back into the past again, because in this very moment, that experience does not exist. It's just an energy, an emotional attachment, an emotional energy to it. And remember, as we're master manifestors, the more we focus on that, the more we bring attention to it, the more negative things seem to keep happening for us, because we can't raise our frequency from that space. So the way that you can start is to basically just take a moment to sit and just bring your attention to your body. So you could look at your feet, be aware of your feet. I'm just giving this one as an example. You can look at anything in your room and be aware of it. But I'm saying look at your body. Look at your feet. Look at the colour of your feet. Look at the length of your toes. Look at your toenails. Look at anything that brings your attention to this present moment, because the one thing that's happening right then is that you can see right now what your feet look like. Look at your hands. You can see right now what your hands look like. Turn your hand over to look at the palm. Look at the lines on your hand. Be very self-aware of all the little details, because when you do that, your attention is taken off the past and it's taken off the future, and it brings you back into the present moment. Then you can extend it by thinking about, well, while I'm looking at my hand and looking at all of these lines on my hand, or the ring on my finger, or my thumb, or whatever, how am I feeling? Because the observation of it then will be, well, actually, at that very second, I wasn't feeling anything other than paying attention to this hand. Okay. So then what you can do is build up to more things. So the next thing that you can do is bring your breath work in. Okay. So while you're focusing on your hand, take a big breath in. But this is where you've got to control the breath, because controlling your breath actually gets you to take your attention off the things that are bothering you, and you become even more present, because then you're being self-aware, you're being aware of how you're breathing. So you can use your hand as the tool to focus on, and then breathe in. Hold it for a second, and then breathe out. Always make a point of breathing out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth. So you're creating a circular pattern. Okay. And that's another thing that you can pay attention to. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Always make the out breath slightly longer than the in breath, because this is where you gain control. The more you repeat it, the more relaxed your body becomes, because your body, if it's in fight or flight, will pick up that mechanism that your brain's saying it's time to relax, it's time to calm down. So that's one thing about being observant, about being present to your environment, being present to you, being present to your hair, your clothes, the smells in the room, the noises around you at that time. Become more self-aware, and that will bring you back to feeling that you're in control, because you're back in the present moment. And from the present moment, when you focus on the breath work, there's lots of other tools that I use in hypnotherapy, and to help people, but that's just one of them. But that brings you back into center, into focus, and from there you can start to build up. The one thing that we're very good at is taking the advice, doing it because someone's doing it with you, and then going away and forgetting about it. Now, this is where you have to become disciplined. If you really, really, really want to make changes in your life, you have to take control of your own thoughts and your own actions. You have to get yourself to that place. If someone teaches you something to do that's going to help you, then you have to put the work in to keep it up and get that momentum going. Because the more that you do that, the more you are creating a new program, a new brain program that will be more conducive to a life that you're saying you want, and not a life that you don't want. So it's about becoming self-aware. And self awareness is about living in the present moment, not what's happening around you, not what's happened to you in your past, not what you might have to deal with at that moment. If you've got a lot to deal with at that moment, just take 5 minutes. And you can take those 5 minutes as often as you want. Take the 5 minutes, focus on your hand, become self aware, do the breathing exercises, and give yourself some space to calm yourself down and become more in the moment. So I hope that helps. And I'll see you soon. Finish my cough sweet now. Take care. Lots of love.